So good morning again, everyone. So blessed to be with you today. We are continuing with our You Can't Sleep Through Your Awakening series. This is our third week. So blessed with this work that Dr. Reverend Jane Simmons wrote. We still have some books, so those of you that would like some, you might call the office and pick one up. I want to begin with a prayer that I use quite frequently. And it's this: I choose to awaken, to live consciously aware of my divinity, and realize my full spiritual potential. I allow things to be present to what is, and I am awake to this now moment. And I give my heart to this practice fully. I have put that in our Facebook feed for you today. So if that resonates with you, you can copy and paste it wherever you like. It's mine, so there's no one to ask for permission. But I know that you and I are here to awaken. I know that for both of us. So I want to do a little review about what we've talked about so far. So the first week we talked about the red pill awakening, and it had to do with the Matrix, and some of you have been watching that movie again. We had the clip for you, and we put that in our feed later after we recorded it. But the Matrix movie began, or had this in it. Neo was one of the characters along with Morpheus. And Neo meets Morpheus, and he offers him this opportunity to awaken to his own awareness of all that is. And he knows that he could go two ways. And he pulls out these two pills, the red pill and the blue pill. And it's become quite famous. So the red pill will open Neo's eyes to the truth, to see what's real. And the blue pill allows him to go back to sleep, remaining unaware of anything unusual and going on under the surface all the time. So the blue pill is the unconscious awareness of our own divinity. Just going about this life, I'm just a body, I'm just here to achieve money, all those superficial things. So Neo wrestles with that decision, and he finally sort of dives in, and he's making the choice to live consciously, like you and I have. And so he swallows the red pill. He takes that red pill. And the world, his world, and your world, and my world have changed forever. And this red pill is that we are one with the one. Our statement of faith, there is one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, the infinite, living, loving presence of God. And that's taking the red pill and living from that conscious awareness. Yes? Yes. So I know you all said that. Thank you, Ralph. I'm so looking forward to our return. And yet I'm totally, fully in the wisdom of waiting until that time is safe for each of us. So what we want to do is we don't want to go to sleep. But in this human journey, that happens. We wake up and then we fall back to sleep. We wake up and we fall back to sleep. So it's entirely possible to walk through this life unconscious of that divinity, of our oneness with all. And some people attempt that for their lifetime. But when our head and our feet are never in the same place, we're not really living at all, are we? When we're in the past or the future, and we're not here in the present moment where our feet are, we're not really awake. We're sort of maybe worried about the future and upset about the past. When we unconsciously sleepwalk through our days, we actually let go of any ability to live with a conscious programming. And so last week we talked about realizing this sleeping pattern, that I am asleep. Really just having that realization. And we talked about waking up is hard to do. And today we're going to get a little reprise of that. And Dr. Jane Simmons talks about a transformative practice called FACE, F-A-C-E, of practicing forgiveness, appreciation, compassion, and embodiment of all of those practices. And we also talked about the negativity bias that it's sort of proven that the brain is sort of, moves towards negativity. The Buddha brain talks about. And there's this thing, this idea that we can either be a presence of Velcro or Teflon, how we take in the world. And so when we're taking it as Velcro, we're taking everything personally, and it's sort of attaching to us. And when we're awake, we have a presence of Teflon, and everything sort of falls off. We don't take it on as the truth. We just take it on as maybe somebody's opinion about that. And then we also want to become heart-centered. So we looked at how to become more coherent by using some heart math principles about getting into the heart space and vibrating at the level of the vibration of appreciation. So that's a practice as well. So we want to become coherent in this world by practicing all these things. And so today we're talking about the third week is the fragrance of gratitude. The fragrance of gratitude. And our first quote on our slide today is from Michael Brown. And he says this: "In the present moment, we are always greeted by the fragrance of gratitude." The present moment. I would like for you to notice that this week, that when you are in the present moment, how easy it is to be grateful. I know for me this week, there was an easy way for me to be grateful. Larry went off to the store and found something we haven't been able to get for quite some time. And it just brought so much joy to me. Larry, would you bring that up? We went to Costco, and look what we found. I can't believe. We got an entire case of toilet paper. Hallelujah, praise God. And isn't it amazing?
We're on a roll.
We're on a roll. I'll just hold on to this.
Yeah, you never know.
Thank you so much. How our life can change in any moment. And the simplest of things we could become so grateful for when we begin to focus our attention there. I'm going to just set this here. So the awakening process is important for you and I. And we don't want to be spending a lot of time in the past. We do need to go back to make some amends. We need to go back to do our cue sheets to figure out what belief systems we took on so that we could become aware of that. But we don't want to live from the past. We don't want to use the past as evidence of our future. We want to allow ourselves to grow and others to grow as well. So We don't want to be in the future either. I don't know about you, but every now and then I really do spend time there. I'm a planner. Anybody plan, right? I plan. And it gives me great joy to have order and a plan in place. But I want to do that planning in the present moment and then let it go. Give that up. That the divine right order will be there in the planning, but then letting it go and letting God. What we want to do, we want to ask ourselves, in any given moment, am I present right now? Am I present right now in this situation? Or am I remembering something from my past that is upsetting to me? And can I just be present in this moment? And just becoming aware that I might be having thoughts about the past and becoming aware that it's not happening now. Good practice. Yes? Yes. Because in the mind, we're so uncertain as to what, if it's happening in our mind, we think it's happening now. So just having that observer experience. Oh, I'm having a thought about how it was. That's stimulating the feeling of upset or joy. But we want to become present and grateful for this moment that can bring us to an awakened presence. So I want to share with you just a brief story. I have had many spiritual awakenings, as you have, in my lifetime. And they're all just sort of different. The one that I recall when I was around 11 years old, I was having a conversation with my father. My father has passed from this plane about 10 years ago, and he and I had difficulty in our relationship. He came from a very conservative, fundamental Christian background, a very patriarchal environment, and I was already in the New Thought arena and pretty liberated as a young woman. So we clashed quite a bit in our conversations, even at 11. And I had this most wonderful experience. We were having a conversation. I can't even tell you what it was about because it didn't matter. But our conversations usually went something like, he would tell me how it is. He would tell me how the world thinks. He would tell me the truth. And as a being, I would take that in and be conflicted because it didn't match with my thoughts. It didn't match with my understanding of the God of my knowing. It didn't match with my understanding of my world vision. And what I got this lightning bolt in the middle of his conversation. All I heard was wah, 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 right? I couldn't even hear what he said, but Spirit just tapped on my mind and opened my heart and said to me, still makes me cry, Denise, do not worry. Your father is just sharing his opinion of what and how the world is from his perspective. It's not the truth. Oh my gosh. It was the greatest liberation for an 11-year-old liberated girl coming into herself that I could hear. And what that did was it allowed me to be with him with more comfort, with more ease. I did not have to take on his beliefs. It liberated me that was the truth, and I had to take that on. And I was able from there to have conversations where I didn't hate him, right? Because before there was this struggle in me with what he was saying. And when I was able to not identify as that, I could love him and let his beliefs be his beliefs. And that's what you and I can do, right? And in this now pandemic, people are wondering how to get back together. There are people from every side of the aisle of it's time to get back together, it's not time to get back together. There's political divides everywhere. And we can simply realize that everyone has a perspective, an opinion. And from that opinion, they are meeting some need for themselves and the world. So rather than seeing people as evil, we can just see them as a human fulfilling their needs. But we do not have to throw them out of our hearts. It's just their perspective. It's not right or wrong, just like ours is not. So we want to hold that liberation that someone is the matter with us. I didn't have to make my father wrong because I was suffering from what he said. I could use the Teflon, let it go. It didn't have to enter into my psyche. And it was so beautiful. And so in order to create a really beautiful life, you and I, we need to move beyond our habitual patterns of seeing life as a struggle. And we need to shift our focus on what we don't want. This is not right. That's not right. I don't like what they said. And we want to shift our focus to what is it that we really want to be in the world? What do we want to see in the world? And the really cool part is when we find whatever we are looking for, it will come about because we're focusing on that. So if we're focusing on as someone's idea of who they are, and we have an idea and have labeled them a certain thing, evil, wrong, we will look for evidence over and over to make this separate sense of self right. But when we begin to look for values that we hold to be in others and in our world, then we will begin to see that. And that is that beautiful sea turtle that we all got to create about the values that we hold in our community and the world. So the book says the awakening heart means a heart that is alive and communicating with the vibration of gratitude. I want to read just a small excerpt from here in the book. It's on page 58 if you have your book. It says, neuroscientists have discovered that gratitude activates the parts of the brain that produce dopamine and serotonin. Those are the feel-good hormones. We want those. In addition, the regular practice of searching for something to appreciate actually helps to develop emotional intelligence, which is in turn generates more gratitude. The Institute of Heart Math has done extensive research on the physiological effects of a positive emotion. By focusing on the heart and allowing feelings of love, feelings of appreciation to expand and radiate outward, we enable our systems to come into alignment, and that order creates a coherent state that's created in the body and a feeling they describe as amplified peace. Amplified peace. So I don't know about you, but I want more peace in my life. And if I want more peace in my life, then I need to begin to cultivate an attitude of seeing that peace. But the mind can be habitually unsatisfied with the present moment. It has this capacity to look back to the past, get stuck in memories, or always be looking to the future. Someone called it, we're always nexting nexting. What's next? We're focusing on what's coming just over the horizon rather than this present moment. We'll be happy when, right? I'll be happy, when this pandemic is over. I'll be happy when I get my job back. I'll be happy when I'll graduate from school. I'll be happy when I'm living with my grandchildren. I'll be happy when my IRA has grown to 100,000. When this happens in my external world, then I will be happy and find peace. But happiness is here and now. It's not a future experience. It's in the here and now. Jesus said we have eyes, but we do not see. Because we're not seeing the world as it is, but as we perceive it with the consciousness in which we are holding. If we see life as a struggle, if we see or think that people are against us, then that's what we will see in the world. So when we begin to use these principles, there's one presence and one power, or no one and nothing is against me, we begin to see a world that is supportive of us in it, expressing our divine selves. Melody Beattie, a 12-step writer, says this: gratitude unlocks the fullness of life. It turns what we have into enough and more. It turns denial into acceptance, chaos to order, confusion to clarity. It could turn a meal into a feast, a house into a home, a stranger into a friend. Gratitude makes sense out of our past and brings peace in today, here. And it creates a vision for tomorrow. So our work is to accept this moment, just as it is. To be grateful for this one day that we have been given. That we can choose every moment to be in a state of grace, to be grateful for this life, and to feel gratitude. I want to help you have an experience of that. So today we're going to watch a video with Brother David Stendal-Rost, a beautiful monk.
You think this is just another day in your life? It's not just another day. It's the one day that is given to you today. It's given to you. It's a gift. It's the only gift that you have right now. And the only appropriate response is gratefulness. If you do nothing else but to cultivate that response to the great gift that this unique day is, if you learn to respond as if it were the first day in your life and the very last day, then you will have spent this day very well. Look at the faces of people whom you meet. Each one has an incredible story behind their face. A story that you could never fully fathom. Not only their own story, but the story of their ancestors. We all go back so far. And in this present moment, on this day, all the people you meet, all that life from generations and from so many places all over the world flows together and meets you here like a life-giving water if you only open your heart and drink. So these are just a few of an enormous number of gifts to which we can open your heart. And so I wish you that you will open your heart to all these blessings and let them flow through you, that everyone whom you will meet on this day will be blessed by you. Just by your eyes, by your smile, by your touch, just by your presence. Let the gratefulness overflow into blessing all around you. And then it will really be a good day.
Boy, you just can't help to have your heart open from that. So you can go to YouTube and find that video and just watch it every day and watch how your life changes and shifts into one that is cultivating an attitude of gratitude. So in the present moment, we are always greeted with the fragrance of gratitude when we take in life now, in this present moment. Let us do that this week, our present moment, each wakeful day.